'Tis time to get our Springer Crossbones ready for Daytona once and for all. You may have seen a previous video where we put new tires on this thing, installed some really badass Palco fishtails on it, and installed a DynoJet Power Vision. Got that done, got a base tune and all that stuff, but we still have to auto-tune it to get it just right so that it's not bucking and acting bizarre in that hellish Daytona traffic. So there she be. This is our 2008 Softail Crossbones, Springer, obviously. Had this exact bike when I met my wife, and that's why when I saw another one on Daytona 2 years ago, I had to have it. Exact same color. It's called Pewter Denim 2008, first year of the Springer Crossbones. The way you can tell is only in 2008 do they have the bar and shield and the patent number badge on the oil tank. In 2009 and on, I think they made them 2008 to 2012, I think. But 9, 10, 11, and 12 have a cartoony looking skull and crossbones. 2008 has the patent badge. I like that. Also added it to the shock on the front, which the Crossbones doesn't come with that, but I put it on because old Springers always had that on the front shock. Anyway, so we put new tires on it, put these really cool Palco fishtails, which are different because you see they go like that instead of that. Really like those a lot. I'll put a link to Dennis Kirk's site. That's where we got those from. But they're pretty badass. I've got a base tune in this thing in the Power Vision that's for a Bub 2-in-2 and a high flow air cleaner. It's actually running decent, shockingly. Like, I think when the wife took it for a test ride, she said she had one detonation and that's it. But what we're going to do is put it in Autotune today, and then I'm just going to run it around quite a bit so that, you know, low speeds and heavy Daytona traffic, there's no bucking, there's no detonation, et cetera, et cetera. So just to make it run smoother, I'll run a couple auto tunes. The basic principle of the auto tune, and I think I'm repeating myself 6 million times here, is that it takes the map that you have in there, the air fuel mixture tables and all that sort of stuff. Right now, that Bub 2-in-2 is what it's got. It's going to take that map, put the motorcycle in auto tune, which will then use the O2 sensors to measure exhaust gases and stuff to figure out where it's rich, where it's lean, and adjust that. This has stock O2 sensors in it, so it's only going to be able to do, you know, so good of a job. DynoJet sells these really badass, like, pro wideband O2 sensors. I think they call it the Autotune Pro or something like that, that detects a lot more, so the Power Vision can do more. The Power Vision's limited by the O2 sensors that are in the bike, but it will still be way, you know, much better than just a base map. So what we'll do first, I'll show you how to put it into Autotune, and then we'll fire it up and we'll just ride it around. And what it's going to do is it's going to be measuring. You know, there's actually a graph on the screen of the Power Vision that shows you, and I'll try and do that with my glasses camera thing later. And it shows you where you have a reading and where you still need to get there. So the actual table you're looking at, I can't remember which axis is which, but one is RPMs and the other is throttle position. So where the two meet is 3,000 RPM at 40% throttle. Well, that's that square. And as you ride, it starts green. The whole table is green. When it gets a little bit of a reading, that square will turn yellow. When it gets a full reading, it'll turn red. And then within the square, there's a percentage that it shows. So obviously to keep going and going and going, even though it's red, to get all the way to, I think, 99, as high as it goes, 99%, that's, you know, ideal. But what you can do then is after you've got that tweaked map from your auto-tune session, you then save that map, tune the bike with that, the new values, and then you can put the bike back into auto-tune on that one that you just did, and now you're tuning the one that you've already made better. So you can just keep doing that over and over again until you've got a really, really good tune. Is it better to throw it on a dyno and take it to a tuner? I mean, yeah. Duh. You know, somebody who's tuned a million of these bikes. Does this still make the bike to where it's not burning exhaust valves and it's actually tuned fairly well? Yes, you're just not getting maximum power. I'm not a number chasing kind of guy. I just want my bike to run good. So let's put her on auto tune and get started. Bam. All right, so Power Vision's already mounted. It's already run. It's already plugged into the ECM under the seat. Ignition on. DynoJet. And then just sit there. Okay, just sit there. It's fine. You've got time. It's a couple seconds, man. All right, you're gonna hit, not that. Program vehicle, auto tune, enable auto tune. You're gonna pick the one you have. So this is the base map I'm running, right? So we selected that. Hit select, do it. Now it has basic O2 narrow bands, right? So see, it doesn't have the Pro DynoJet AT2 wideband kit or or the target tune or any other stuff. It's got the basic one, so we're just going to do that. Select. This will modify blah, 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 blah. Right? You can't unplug it while you're doing this. You have to leave it plugged in is what it's telling you. So it's going to rattle a couple things off. It's going to make bizarre things happen on the screen, and then it will be done, and it will be into auto-tune mode. So every time you start the bike from that point on, it's going to stay in auto-tune, and the Power Vision is going to be measuring the air-fuel mixture, exhaust gases, all that sort of stuff, and tweaking the table that it's got loaded. So what I'm going to do now is move the wife's car. No ECU detected. That's interesting. I don't edit, so I don't know what that was. Let's try this again. Program, auto-tune, enable, that slot, select, basic, select, yes. Why would it give me that error before? It's the bike, not the Power Vision. That's the thing, is it'll be the bike being difficult. Come on. It's waiting a while, so I'm guessing there is something goofy going on. No ECU detected. Let me start the bike, let it run for a minute. No, wait. Is it because I didn't have the kill switch on? Seriously, that could be it. I didn't have the kill switch on. It was like, there it is. Kill switch has to be on for it to work. Anyway. See, I don't edit. I show you mistakes real time. So now what this is going to do is put it in auto-tune mode, and then it's going to tell me to turn the bike off for 10 seconds and turn it back on, and that's just so it reboots, and then the bike will be in auto-tune until you go back in here and say disable auto-tune, export values, all that sort of stuff, and we'll do that later as well. So now it's putting in auto-tune. You just heard the bike make a noise, check engine light, all that stuff. All this weird stuff comes on and off, does all that stuff while it's doing it. Waiting for ECU to restart. Now, turn it off for 10 seconds, turn it back on. Bam. So now when I turn the bike back on, it's in auto-tune. It's in that mode. So as long as you ride it, it's going to be measuring. It's not like some of the other tuners I've used. So like the fuel pack, right? When the bike is in auto-tune on the fuel pack, which it does that as well, I don't know what base tune it uses, but it doesn't run off of a decent tune already. It kind of leaves everything open. And the bikes run like shit when they're in auto-tune. This doesn't do that. This runs pretty good. You can tell there's something a little different, but it's not like, it doesn't lag, it doesn't pop, it doesn't act really, really bizarre. And I'm not knocking those other tuners. I'm just saying that when you're in auto-tune on those other ones, they can be a little herky-jerky until you get some data. This guy runs pretty good. You tweak the table you have, you upload that one, then you put an auto-tune again, you tweak that one. You know what I mean? You're just constantly, I do this 6, 7, 8 times. Over and over. I do it at low speed, high speed. Most of my friends that have done this, the mistakes that they have made, and I'm not knocking them, we all make mistakes, is they've just gotten on the bike and then they go get on the highway. And then they just get in it real hard, and so they tune the top end. It's actually, in my opinion, if you're not tuning for racing, you really want to do this a lot in a subdivision, in a parking lot, in like low speed maneuvers, because you want it measuring there, because that's when you want the bike to run smoothest, right? You're in a parking lot, you're going around cars, all that stuff. So you want to do this in a combination of riding, low speed stuff and highway. Just sitting on the highway going 75 miles an hour for an hour and a half doesn't do anything for you, because you're only tuning that little spot. You want to be tuned, again, all different throttle levels at all different RPMs. So at low RPMs, rolling it on real strong, and then not quite as strong. And you'll see the map turn red in different spots when it's grabbed data. So let's get it done. Where you're like getting little squares that are yellow and then orange, so you can keep getting. You can't really know this in a red light very much, you know what I mean? But you're trying to fill in as much of that as possible. All right, so you can see I got some. I need a lot more than that. But we'll run out here Highway 80, which is a real straight, nobody on it kind of road, and we'll get some more down low and high, and get a better map, or better, tune. All right, there's a really good measurements in there. We could get a lot more, but for a quick, 20, 30 miles, I don't remember what it was. That's a nice little base. So we'll save that, and then when I got more time, I'll do it again and again and again to fine tune it. But it's running really good. Like that base map I found was pretty damn close, because it's running nice. I love how my watch tells you I'm in a loud environment. Like, I know. I love that. Loud environments are the best environments. I believe what that error was, by the way, the glasses cut me off, so now we're back on the phone, or camera. I believe that might be that original map I was running was for a twin cam 88, and this is a 96. Maybe that's what's going on. I'll have to dig into that. But anyway, you get the gist of how auto tuning works. It's not hard stuff, and to me, it's a lot of fun. You know that I'm obsessed with doing everything myself that I possibly can, and sometimes doing things I shouldn't do myself just to learn a little bit. I'll tell you right now, I think it's a blast to tune your own bike. You can also do other things in that thing that I wouldn't do to that. Prime example. You can lower your idle. You can remove, I think, speed limiters. You can do all kinds of stuff. There's also like virtual gauges you can run where you're looking at gauges on the screen. There's a million things you can do if you're geeky like that and like to get into every little bit of detail on your bike. I wouldn't lower the idle on a twin cam. Side note, twin cams need a lot of oil pressure. And if you lower the idle too much, when you're sitting there at idle, oil's not getting to the top of the motor and it's really, really hard on it. That's why twin cams idle at like 1,000 RPMs. Different than the like Milwaukee 8. Milwaukee 8s can idle at like 850 or whatever. That's fine. Evos can idle at 2. No, they get idle low also, 800, 850, whatever. But a twin cam needs oil pressure, so they have to idle like 950 to 1,000. So anyway, that's why I think twin cams don't sound as good, because they have to idle up so high. But anyway, so there you go. So what do you think of auto tuning? What did I miss? What any questions you have, comment down below, of course. If you wouldn't mind, I forget to say this all the time. If you're not a subscriber, please check and make sure that you hit subscribe. I had a lot of people tell me they were subscribers, and then one day they checked and they suddenly weren't. So hit subscribe and the thumbs up and all that stuff. Appreciate it. Any questions, comment down below. I'll read every one of them. Love you all to death. Take care of each other. We'll talk real soon.